freaking lights. Look how bright they are. Like, there's no need for that. There really is no need for that. So I'll just go walk this way, I guess, to avoid the lights. Go around. Ugh, but there's a dog. There's people. This is no good way to go. The best way is to just stare at the floor until those lights pass. Because, like, look at that. It's too bright. It hurts. It hurts to look at. These things should be erased from existence. Look at how contemporary this place is. I hate this place. This is Boomerville. I hate Boomerville. I literally live in Boomerville. With boomers. Help. It wouldn't be an episode of Rainbows and Razorblades if I didn't play a song for you guys. Ugh, and reluctantly, you ladies. I know you hate being misgendered. Fucking bitches. Is bitches endearing if you say it to a trans woman? Because technically you're, like, gendering them properly, even if they don't pass and they look like men. Yeah, most days I'm going out of my mind. Yeah, most days I'm going out of my head. I say someday they're gonna come to your house, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna shoot you dead. Oh yeah, someday they're gonna come to your house, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna take your kids, they're gonna kill you, they're gonna rape your fucking friends. All together, yeah, we could make this world a better place to live in. Or we could make this town such a safer place to raise our kids in. Yeah, all together. Yeah, we could make this town a safer place to live in. Or we could make this world such a safer place to raise our kids in. But then we pour some chemicals into the drains and wash the blood from our knives anytime it rains. And then we shoot some heroin into our veins and fucking fade away. Cause we were never supposed to grow this old. No, we were never supposed to grow this old. No, we were never supposed to grow this old. No, we were never supposed to grow this old. But I remember a time back when I felt young and we could still scream, when we could still breathe fresh air and not just do dream. Oh, I remember a time when I felt young, we could still run, when we could still play outside, and things still felt fun. We were never supposed to grow this old. We were never supposed to grow this old. We were never supposed to grow this old. Grow this old. Someone once told me that Facebook is watching your face. Why do you look surprised? Someone once told me that Reddit is owned by the Chinese. Tinder's rigged by the Jews. Why'd they really ban all the porn off of Tumblr? Yeah, I miss MySpace too, yeah, all together. Yeah, we could make this world a better place to live in. Or we could make this town just a safer place to raise our kids in. But then we pour some chemicals into the drains and wash the blood from our knives anytime it rains. And then we shoot some heroin into our veins. Or we should shoot some senators into the graves and fucking bury them. Cause we were never supposed to grow this old. We were never supposed to grow this
I guess I'm a witch doing rituals. The first 2 times it was queried was, what the fuck is that red thing? To which I was like, oh, I'm the red thing. The second time the child asked the question was, I don't even remember, but I'm glad those 2 loudlings are out of this zone, because first of all, we'll call it race mending relations, and the cultural clash with total, like, emulation but lack of perception to meta structure that the childs are doing. You know, the white one, the fat white one, is using the N-word endearingly, in the way that I'm sure his peers also use the term endearingly. I remember being that age and having Jewish, not black friends. So I never normalized it. When it was normalized to my vocabulary, it was vitriolic, and it came with an unstructured malice, but also a very real, observable, tangible difference in observable behavior, or at least normative behavior within the constraints of the... Is that a person or a dog? It's gotta be a person. Welcome back to Rainbows and Razorblades, a show from somewhere I've been coming since my childhood. This tree is the lightning tree, and I'll show you what that means. It's a small pine barren that gets a lot more foot traffic today than it used to, because the park that it is built through. You know, when I was a child, this drainage canal for a town park slash, well, you can't probably see it, but through the woods is a suburban sprawl. You know, this is ostensibly the last pseudo forest in the area. I mean, you could tell. Dude, shut up. Fucking geese. This tree, I mean, you can see how old it is. It's quite an old tree. I've climbed to the top of this tree when I was in 8th grade. And I mean the very, very top of it. I was, you know, not coming here. Ever since I've been coming here, it had always been struck by lightning. There was never a time that I knew where it hadn't been. I often think maybe it's fungus, but I don't think so. You know, it's possible a human did it and maybe it wasn't lightning, but I like to think of it as lightning. Hard to really say. Certainly an old wound to the tree as the bark is healed around it. As the tree, kind of like water, mends itself as its cells kind of just replicate into the space. The airplane obviously breaks any semblance of true, like, wilderness silence that could be, at a frequent enough interval that one would wonder, is there like an airport or something nearby? And the answer to that is yes. There is. We're pretty close to it, actually. And the owl pellet. Oh, it's so cool. You can see little bones in it. So, little bones. It's because the owl eats them and then coughs them back out in a little pellet called an owl pellet. So that's what that is. And I've heard it. It's I think it's called a great horned owl. I may be wrong on that. Ooh, 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 ooh. It does that. It sounds kind of like a mourning dove, like, similar, but not, but much bigger. You can tell that, like, they're so cool because, like, they're alive, and when they make that noise, it's so spooky. You're like, dude, what? Like, how does it do that? Probably the most dangerous thing out here today. Makes me feel happy. I'm often the most dangerous thing out here. I've been the most dangerous thing out here since like 8th grade. I feel like a kid when I come here, because this is where I used to come when I didn't even realize what trauma was. When I didn't realize that what I was experiencing was trauma. That I didn't realize what I was experiencing was just like disassociated escapism. I didn't have words, vocabulary, I hadn't figured it all out, hadn't sorted it all out. Didn't really have the self-perception or the, not clerical, is that the word? Clerical functionality that I have today. The kind of meta-self-cognizance that leads to like self-referencing, analytical, like thought manifestation patterns, but it's really a wider category of just like mode of cognition that like maybe I literally didn't have the brain structure for. They say your brain doesn't stop developing for quite a while until, you know, I mean, you're bigger, and you know, who knows maybe that's why I didn't have it. But regardless, I have it now, and you know, it leads me to a position where it's like I've never really been further than this place, but yet this place feels so much smaller than it used to. I mean, this used to truly feel like the wilderness for me when I was in like 8th, 9th, 10th, even 11th, 12th grade. And I think really up until I was probably like 26, 27, this place really felt kind of like, not like a dog park, but like the wilderness. Now it's like a normie dog walker park, and I have a good understanding of the scale. I have a good understanding of the yardage, of the laws that govern it, of the types of people that are out here, of just like the spiritual energy that you're supposed to maintain to just like, when you're a kid, you're just actually like breaking shit, smoking things, fucking people, touching everything, like throwing shit, breaking everything, yelling, hiding, doing whatever. Like you're emoting and you're behaving, and you're kind of acting out. Surrogate, I think, models of what would in other eras have been high stakes life, you know, a surrogate life. You're emoting through it, and I think a lot of the behavior that you see children just going wild with, like this buck wild kid yet calling his friend, you know, a little Fortnite kid. And it's funny because it probably doesn't occur to the young child that the reason Fortnite is an insult is because you're not insulting the fact that they play Fortnite. It's a generational put down. It's like in a non-derogatory but still kind of discriminatory way. It's like ageism. You're explicitly denoting the gap between my generation, which were COD kids, right? Or like other FPS game players, or, you know, there's the RTS nerds, the MMO nerds, but there was no Fortnite kid. Now Fortnite's interesting because it is, well, what isn't it? Jeez, I mean, and that's what's so cool about it. It's its own, like, thing. You gotta fight your way to the center, you shoot everybody, you get a bunch of guns, but it's colorful, it's fluid, it's a lot of fun. You know, I hate it, but I hate watching it. I hate everything about it. So it's funny because the Zoomers that are running around, these little kids, I mean, those kids probably were, I don't know, I really don't know. Maybe 14 at the oldest, I'm guessing. Maybe 15 at the oldest, I'm guessing. Maybe there was like an age difference between them. Couldn't have told you. Didn't really look too close. Didn't want to move, because at that time it was, you know, I wasn't a human filming a video. I was, what the fuck is that red thing? And I liked that, so I didn't want to blow up that moment. You know, I was enjoying the observation. You know, just kind of making my strategic little analyses about how there's a race relation that's mending in this country, but it's not being done in a way that like that kid has no idea that he's like. He probably does have some small idea, but it isn't probably an ideological complex that he's running as like an operating system. It's probably more akin to monkey see, monkey do. Like, well, what are you gonna do? It's like, well, you hear and you see one thing, and so you behave in that way, and you see if there's consequences, or you see what happens, or you see if a larger organism dominates the behavior out of you, or if an organism doesn't dominate it, if it just like tries to like passively make you not do it, or conversely, if it reinforces that behavior, and it gives you a pleasure reward of just like, hey, nice, I like that you're using the N-word. That's really cool, because it means that you're not afraid to show that you're like truly my deepest friend. And you know, I think it's like really cool that, you know, you're using it in a way that's like, you know, it's an esteemed, privileged position to be someone's N-word. You know what I mean? Like, okay, obviously as an adult, I know to censor myself and not use it, and even just kind of saying N-word in the context that I said it is still like problematic. But I mean, this kid is just, he's a kid. He has no conception whatsoever or awareness that there could be potential blowback for his otherwise completely uninhibited free speech. And more than it's free speech, it's you know, I don't want to carry this. Why did I become this thing's mom? Frustrating. Anyways, we have to go drop this thing off at the gulag. The particle collector is kind of how I like to look at the trash. It's a particle consolidator. It's very effective, actually, because if you can consolidate all your particles, then at bigger and bigger scales you can consolidate all the particles all the way until you have a landfill, and then you've created an absolute shit show, smorgasbord monstrosity that will probably never be resolved in my lifetime. And you can feel good about yourself because out of sight, out of mind. And people are very primitive. They care about that. There's a lot of like foolishness that leads from foolish behavior stemming from a lacking of self-awareness. You know, I was dumb as shit when I was in high school. It actually makes me question, like, wow, when did I grow up? I mean, I still wear a Jigglypuff hat out here instead of the other pink hat without the ears. And that's because out here is my home. Like, I'm still a kid here. In a way. Part of my soul will always be the childish protector of this place, I suppose, is a better way to look at it. Because now as an adult, like, I don't hang out here at 4 a.m. screaming. I don't go out here try to just break trees, do graffiti, do whatever kids try to do just to like flex power. People. I'll give them their space. There's no real need for me to go on the bridge anyways. You know, mostly I'm just an average civilian with a lot of weird beliefs who feels maybe overly comfortable here because of my childhood in a way that literally no one else around here was a kid. There were no other kids. I didn't have a lot of kids in my life growing up. I had like a handful of riffraff types in and out of my, you know, ping pong lifestyle of awkward friendship groups of half-remembered names and schizotypal storylines, abused parents and kids emoting through trauma that they couldn't possibly have articulated at the time, just kind of living life in surrogate of maybe a collective delusion of what life is. Like, because it is a collective waking daydream, right? It's a nightmare for most. You never really wake up. Most people they're just asleep. That's why the term woke is so popular. Like, it's really woke of me to like denounce the problematic use of the child's N-word, right? I don't really care. I really don't care what the kids are saying. I care more about what the adults are saying and for the reasons why they say them. And that isn't to say that I think we should just allow kids to just do whatever they want, but let me put it to you like this. I'm no activist and I'm not woke enough to scream across the bridge and try to limit the free speech of some lesser, and I don't even want to say lesser, but just smaller, less experienced, literally lacking the frontal part of the brain organism. Like, I'm not going to disparage him and try to shut down his like fun with his friend by just like trying to explain to him the nuanced reasons why you can't use the N-word in public. At that volume, or really at all, it's between you and your friend, but at that volume. He's talking about, yo, let me get my gun. People don't know that you're just a kid. Well, I knew because I could see him. This is just horrendous. Like, look at this. And for what, you know? And for what? The particle collector is literally like 100 yards away. This is the absolute state of... Oh, filling with water. Ugh. Worst. Hold on, we'll be right back. I mean, you could pretty easily ask, what's his nuts? GeoWizard. You could ask GeoWizard where I am. That dude will probably be able to tell you for like $5, you know? You could probably stalk anybody on Earth, that guy. He could probably figure it out. And if not him, then like some military dude, bro. Some fucking Zoomer kid coming out, understanding trigonometry between, you know, the flight patterns or whatever. Go look up "He Will Not Divide Us" flag. you'll understand what I mean. The triangulation of position, using airplanes and flight paths and stuff, using like flight aware and stuff. Oh, pretty freaking degenerate. I picked up 7s. This is 9, 10. Craziness, dude. Oh, the absolute state. Yeah. You and your alarm call. I live over there to the left. This little neighborhood over here. So, not really that far away. Actually, I don't really live this way. It's more that way. The airport is there. The main road is like out there. And the other main road is like kind of like diagonal here. And then there's probably other one that way, but I don't go that way. I don't drive that way. There's not really anything beyond that pine tree. It's just another field. Like, it looks like there's something, but it's actually just another dog park field. And then behind that, there's probably more of just exactly what there is here, I assume. No reason really to assume otherwise. I think I know about it. I think having lived here for 16 years of my life, I think I know about it if there was something that way. Probably just, like I said, exactly what there is for as far as you can see in any given other direction other than the little pseudo wilderness that I call my yard. You know, people are like, what are you doing? You didn't hear it because I stopped recording, but this woman, she was like, I don't think she was being obnoxious, but she asked me with a really judgmental tone, what are you doing? And I was just like, ma'am, this is my house. Or I said, ma'am, this is my yard. That's my house. That's not my house, but I told her it was. Just because, like, it proves the point. I gotta go get these other 4 and then walk them all the way back across. Real pain in the ass. Bro, one of them had a bunch of water that got all up on my hand. I was pissed. I was like, dude, really? Because it didn't leak out from the cap end. It leaked out from the bottom of itself. It was like a crack in the plastic. I was like, really, dude? I think there was another 2 up this way, if I remember right. Then I'm going to swoop under there, check the other side. Yep. I left these here because my hands got full. You know, as an adult, I can tell that kid that was using the N-word and saying that he wanted to go get his gun and calling his friend a Fortnite kid, not realizing it's a generational meme. He probably needs glasses because that's the same tree and I'm not really too far away from where I was. And like, there's no way you couldn't tell. There's no way that the question was, what the fuck is that red thing? How you not seeing a person? I mean, to be fair, I guess maybe I'm a little bit camouflaged because of my hair and my pink hat and my scarf. I don't know. Kid probably needs glasses. I think this is spotted knapweed. It kills just about everything that it grows near because there's this kind of like, I think the word is toxin, but that may be wrong. I think there's like this toxin that it has in its roots that it kind of just like creates. And then inevitably what happens is it gets into the soil surrounding it, which is, you know, why it produces it. And it makes it harder for other things to grow, to make it easier for the resistant knapweed to self-propagate into the space of whatever cells couldn't colonize that, you know, little bit of material resource. Is that mullein? Might be. Looks a little like mullein. I really like the dry. I like that there's no ice left. All the ice is gone. There's no water. This isn't wet, like it's not a bog. Obviously, you could tell sometime of the year this is a bog. These are actually not human trails. I'm sure probably a couple humans walk this besides me, because I do find trash, and I do find, like, this right here is not game sign. This is like sign, like this is actually, what the hell did that? Some sort of thing. Maybe some, I don't know. Maybe like a person, I don't know. Weird. Anyways. Yeah, these are also used like as game trails, like rabbits and deers, maybe even. I don't know what eats that. Eats all of it. Eats all the lower bark. You could see it, stripped of the sumac plant. So whatever eats sumac bark out here in the wintertime, I don't know. I don't think any deer are out here. There's, as far as you can see, nothing but, you know, office complexes and living. I'm not really sure how long recording 2 gigabytes is. It's not as long as I thought, obviously. I think I'm recording in 720p, but like, I don't know, I don't have enough memory space for this. Or truly, I don't. And, but I wanted to just re-record because it just shut off, and I was really upset with that because I was on a roll, you know? I was showing that, you know, this wasn't here when I was a kid. I'm not really sure at what point it shut off, but I walked to the edge of the boundary. I'm not going to walk any further onto this cattle grazing property. You know, I understand liability I was talking about. I'm just upset. I don't want to talk about it again. I was talking about how, like, where did this all come from, you know? Like, I really don't know. Syria, probably not, but that's what Syria looks like. It's kind of fucked up. I'm glad that I don't live in that type of war zone right now. Blah. There's not really a big impetus for war where I'm from, and I think that that's a good thing. And the impetus for war that exists is mostly an expression, I think, of the way that people are just like completely co-opted to hate themselves. Like, they're so afraid to be a burden. They're so afraid to exist, really, or to self-actualize, that, you know, they've been completely colonized the way that this bittersweet has colonized whatever that it killed. You see, it's just bittersweet now. And that's kind of what the American spirit has become. It's just whatever was here has just been completely overgrown by the bittersweet. You know, it'll grow around anything, no matter how small. Look at this. It's killing this, like, cattail. I'm going to let it happen because I don't give a fuck, but it's killing the sumac. It's killing everything. Killing everything it can possibly wind its little shape around. Anywhere it can propagate its cells, but in a very methodical and kind of purposeful, tactical pattern, following the sun to orient itself upwards, and, you know, using little spin feelers to creep, less than a millimeter, like a picometer at a time, just like cellular growth. It's intense, man. Every day, every damn day it's growing. Yeah, this path wasn't really here when I was young, or perhaps I just didn't know of it. I actually found this recently as an adult because I began to explore the world in a very, very, very different way than I did as a child. Like I said, as a child, you don't really understand the boundaries of where you are. You're kind of just out there. Like, again, like this fence, like, that's not gonna stop me from going over it. That's just like a metal thing that you can go over. But as an adult, I recognize, like, well, all things put together, that's probably a cattle fence or a car fence, which means that it's a strict property line, which means that it's probably enforced, but that's not really my concern. We'll continue just for the hell of it. Ugh. Also, as an adult, you just don't want to fuck with this stuff anymore. You're just like, come on, man. What are you doing, really? As a kid, you don't care. You heal a lot quicker as a kid, too, so the consequences are also in that regard, not just in terms of liability and responsibility, but in terms of, like, you know, if I broke my leg now, shit's gonna be fucked. Whereas if I'm a kid, if you break your leg, you're like, yeah, sucks, man. I'm one of the blessed few that never broke their leg. And truthfully, I don't even think as a kid, most kids think about breaking their leg. They just think, like, this is gonna be the coolest stunt ever. That's what you're thinking as a kid. You do get that nervous rush, but some kids love that adrenaline, you know? I was one of them. Like, yeah, holy shit, like, we're about to do this, like, it could actually be that I die. Fuck it, YOLO. And you drop into the half pipe, you know, skater busts his lip. As an adult, that's just gonna take months to heal. As a kid, you're like, yeah, 3 weeks ago, man, it was fucked up. Bit my lips, fucked up. I wonder what this, I think that's spotted knapweed. Yeah, it probably is, because all the skeletonized or whatever, lignified remains of it. I like the way that spotted knapweed cracks apart. It brings me a lot of joy. Look how it looks. You can just make it infinitely smaller. I like that a lot. See, look. And look, you can do it with one hand. Ooh. So it's not very powerful. You feel very powerful. It's very stimmy. I like it a lot. I could do this for a lot of time. Look at the tall mullet. Remember the tallest mullen? Do you guys remember that? That thing was like over my head. Look at this. This is like the average mullen. It's not even that tall. Fuck you, mullen. You out here being violent. Committing hate crimes against dead mullen. This is Queen Anne's lace. I was memeing, but it actually smells. For real, I was memeing. Sorry, little spider. I should have checked for you. Oh well. Sorry for inhaling your little babies. Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. Oh, do you hear it? Listen. Wonder if this smells. No. I really wasn't expecting the Queen Anne's lace to smell. It smelled not familiar. I don't really know how to describe it. I'm new to smelling things. I didn't used to go around smelling everything. As a kid, it was never really something that I cared to do. Wow, this whole field's like dug up from like, I don't know, maybe like a mole. Could just be also from water rising and falling, you know. Oh, I love walking through this. Look how much there is. I forget what kind of trees those are. Oh, listen to it, listen to it. By the fistful. This is like a new thing for me. I've never gotten this into it, not even close. Oh, this is gonna be like a new thing for me. The thing is you wanna know why I don't really often come across this much knapweed. If this is even knapweed. May not be. Whatever it is. But I think it's spotted knapweed. I'll be really foolish if it wasn't. I'll have to put like a whole addendum at the start of the episode. I'll be like, yeah, so you'll know why this was recorded after. Oh, we fenced in. That's hilarious. I fenced in. Like, I mean, I again, kind of an arbitrary obstacle, but yeah, I'm a groundhog. Anytime you commit crime, you take off the high vis. How did I get here? Welcome back to, I forget how quickly this place becomes extremely claustrophobic. A show from the middle of this field. By the Gregorian calendar, it is currently the 30th day of March, the third month of the year, 2022. Meow. It's an airplane. We could probably look up on flightaware.com at 6:17 p.m. Well, it would actually probably be 6:15 p.m. The departure time of that plane. It's hard to point that. And like look at this and orient. Because it's like a mirror, so I have to like move my hand like backwards, so I have to correct for that in real time. So we hopped the fence. I didn't record that because you never, ever, 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 ever record crime. Never record crime. We're walking today. I don't care about these paths, like, that's fine. I'm walking the field. Other normies can walk the endless tracks. I came this way through the woods. Well, I came this way through the woods. Started recording over there, so you came with me around this whole way over here. And then around this way and back up through this way. The bridge is like right there. And then we went this way across the game path. hit the fence line, and then came this way across the fence line, and found a fence here, which we weren't expecting. Went over that fence, and then instead of following the pathway that the normies are walking on the path, we're going this way. We're going straight this way. I don't care about anything else. Do we go over or under? Over or under? Oh, should I get a running start and do a dive? No. Going under. That's the laziest way to do it. I was punished for it. It cut me. -1 stamina. RIP. 2 hearts in... Actually, it'd be 2 3/4 hearts in Zelda. Another one. We're gonna save more memory space. We'll be back when there's something more interesting than my nose and this flag and these airplanes. We'll be back. Let's take a guess what the sign says. Prize says stay on path or do not climb, or no skating. It says do not climb. Destruction of property is petty vandalism, and I picked some of this. So maybe not a felon, but I lied about never recording crime. It's cap, bro. There's this video of this guy. He's getting interviewed. He's like a football player or something, and he sneezes and then says, "God bless you, thank you," to himself. It's pretty funny. He blesses himself. It's ridiculous. This is the first time, and I don't come here that often, I guess. But I mean, every single time I'm here, there's the worst noise. I'm gonna show you the worst noise. Ready for this? This thing is the worst thing in America. Okay, maybe it's not this one. Maybe it's this. Yeah, it's this. Why do we need that? Nah. And then this is the other worst thing. Wait, this may be this may not be a bell. This may not be what I think it is. It's like a yelling thing. You yell into it. Oh, it's kind of cool. Probably goes somewhere across the place. Probably goes like maybe, I don't know, like the other side or something stupid. Yeah, it comes out of there. It's funny. Yeah, if you're a little kid, that's magic, you know. When I was a little kid, I was in like, oh god, maybe I was 14, so like maybe like 8th grade. Did a backflip or a front flip off of this, right here. It not only was it caught on camera, it's like the sickest shot ever. It's just like, I'm wearing like a bunch of like goth clothes. Goth. I'm wearing like a black hoodie and like normie black sweatpants, and I'm just like doing it. Up in the air, tucked, perfect posture. Little teeny little white kid. Hilarious. I'll see if I can find that shot. I used it as my MySpace profile for like way longer than most people would have. I was pretty proud of that moment. I was like, I did a front flip. Whole entire front flip. It was lit. It was a perfect front flip. I'm trying to say this is like an archaeology site or some bullshit. They're not even trying to say that. I don't know why this is like a fucking sign here. And then this meme is just like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of fucking houses and stuff that used to be there that is not there. Who cares? I don't know. I really don't know. Diversity. Wouldn't be like a proper trip here if I didn't pay like a full fucking American dollar for like Frito fucking chips. It's not $1. We may be fucked, guys. Boys, it's the end of the line, boys. We'll have to go with this candy instead. Where is everybody? It's very bizarre. I mean, really bizarre that there's just nobody here. I mean, I guess it makes sense because I'm like autistic and try to avoid stim that I only show up here if there's nobody else here. So I don't know why I'm really surprised, but like I'm just like relieved, I guess. Well, yeah, I mean, we may as well go out on this thing. I almost always just avoid it, like, because There's always a billion normies. But you wasps would live in there. If I was a wasp, I would. Oh, fuck. Those lights are too bright. I don't care about this lady's shower. Shut up, lady. She's like, just leave me alone. And he's like, bitch, I'm putting my spiral dick in you. I'm gonna mate guard you until that you give up and that I have more stamina. And then I'm having sex with you whether you like it or not. She's like, please, go away from me. I'll fly away. He's like, bitch, you would try that. I'm gonna eat this food. I'm gonna catch you. I'm gonna put those in my muscles and my wings. What is this thing looking at? There's like a whole like maze in here or whatever. Look at this fucking bush. This thing was teeny when I was a kid. All these were. You know, these shrubs were like no higher than the fence, like barely even to the fence. Now they're like quadruple the fence or triple the fence. Hoffman Family Maze. It's not much of a maze anymore because like over time, you know, people pick it bare. But yeah, I'm not going in there. I'm not doing it. There's an albino squirrel that lives out here, so maybe I'll try to get it on video if I see it. I'll keep my eye. I ran to get away from people because they were too loud behind me. But then what happened was there was more people coming from a different trail, and then so I ended up on this trail. No one ever goes this way. Shut up, dude! I'm trying to record. I only have like literally 0.4 gigabytes left. It's not a lot. I have a cramp from running. This is where they dump all their like bullshit, like industrial zone, and there actually isn't. There's no path, but I don't care about that. But there's no path to get back. But again, I'm taking the most direct route, so we're beelining it. Anyways, we'll be back. Yeah, so the normies. Oh, this is 1080p. The normies aren't gonna walk through that. They're just not gonna do it. I remembered I used this part this time. I got punished last time for touching it. Oh, you know what? This sucks. This sucks. We cannot go across. There's too much water. Oh, we'll have to follow the normie path. Worst. It's weird. Sometimes the app opens correctly. Sometimes it doesn't, but I don't know why. Sometimes it'll open up like to the forward-facing camera, sometimes not. I used to play out there, swing on one of the vines. It's a lot of fun. The vine's gone. It's been gone for a while, but fond memories. It's people again. I try so hard to avoid being perceived. It's funny because normies will just walk by me like yelling at the top of their lungs on their phone, which like I guess I'm not very different from them in that regard. Like I'm talking to my phone too, but oh my god, there's more people. It's like every time I think there's not gonna be normies, there's normies. Oh. It's literally the same normies that I literally sprinted to get away from the first time. We're gonna go this way to this tower, just to get away from the noise. Shut the fuck up. Oh, these guys laughing. There's always something, there's always somebody. That's why I like the cemetery. I never come here. There's too many normies here. You saw the brief video where I was in the bathroom. I washed my hands with soap, which was a terrible idea. Like I wanted to do it, but it's a terrible idea because exactly what you'd expect would happen happened, and now my hands smell terrible, and I spurge out every time I go like this. Ugh. Oh, it's so bad. Can't wait to get home and wash. Why the long face? It's a transgender joke. It's not very funny. He's just being trans. Easy. It's not even like a muskrat either. Watch, look for his tail. Is that a muskrat or a beaver?
Beaver.
Bro, this thing's chilling. Oh my goodness. Wonder what it's up to. Oh my god, it's like actively chewing the branches.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just doing beaver stuff.
Beaver stuff. I'm glad we have phones to record it so we can show people. Like, yo, look. A beaver. Hey, don't flash it.
I'm not.
Oh. Oh, it's an artificial flash. I wonder what it's up to.
It's beaver.
It doesn't really seem really too super concerned with us.
We're up here. It's down there.
True, I wonder if it can get through that pipe.
Probably. Bye, beaver friend.
Bye.